Okay, dear Board of Directors, welcome to the Budapest Business School presentation. My name is Vivian, and I'd like to introduce my team, Peter and Nimrod. In our executive summary, you can see our main objective: how can the Port of Rotterdam be a smart and sustainable port in the future? The problem that occurs from the beginning of the case is highly connected to the communication problems between the stakeholders and companies. Our solution is based on digitalization improvements and communication automation. The other challenge that we identified is the narrowing coal and oil market and the trouble with the wind energy storage. Our recommendation will give the Port of Rotterdam a feasible solution to store the wind energy effectively, safely, and locally. Peter, can you explain the company's profile, please?
Yes, Vivi, I can. Firstly, dear directors, please let me congratulate you because according to our are already doing a great job. So the port already has the port exchange, which is a port call optimization. You already has a fully automated loading book, which is working without any human labor and even 4 times more efficient than the other parts of the port. And you already a front runner for the quest of the sustainable energy usage and CO2 neutrality. If we go to the other slide, we could see that the main question is still, how can the Port of Rotterdam attract more investors? Let's start with the vision of the port. There are 4 main points that the port envision and attracts investors. Firstly, sustainable energy. Secondly, digitalization. Thirdly, working environment and the well-educated workforce. And fourthly, the location which is connected with the region and the incoming innovating ecosystem. Through the other side, I will tell you that we wanted to identify what is the biggest problem in the short term that we can solve almost immediately. Currently, 140 million ton of shipment, which is 30% of the total shipment, are late from the schedule. And it is because the lack of transparency between the companies. So how can Port of Rotterdam achieve just-in-time operation, which is digitalization with digitalization fast? As we go to the other slide, we could see that a single cargo from Shanghai goes through the loading, the ocean freight, to the port of Rotterdam and through the customs and import hauling, just to be put on the truck or a train so it could left for the final destination. Ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, there are a lot of points where it can go wrong and it can get really delayed. Some are just bad luck, like a malfunctioning equipment, and some are just unavailable, like the weather. But if the communication isn't on point between the 50 companies, then it became chaotic. As we move on, secondly, we wanted to identify the main challenges is that how can Port of Rotterdam achieve zero CO2 neutrality by 2015? Currently, the fossil energy sources are slowly but steadily depleting. Our planet is changing and it's not for the better. And the port already started the change for a sustainable energy source like wind and solar energy, but the problem with them is their production are fluctuating and really hard to store safely the energy in this quantity. Let's move on. In the summary, we can see that here are the challenges of today in the Port of Rotterdam. How can Port of Rotterdam achieve just-in-time operation with digitalization, and how can the renewable energy be stored safely and efficiently in being quantity? I am turning to you, Vivi, with these questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Peter. First of all, I'd like to show our he is Marcus. He is the head of a shipping company, and he's got some issues, just like communication difficulties, inaccurate information, and unpredictable logistics problems. And his values is efficient time and cost management, predictability, and good relationship with his customers. But how can he achieve it? We came up with the idea of the port CDM concept, which could be the key part of the digital information revolution. But what is port collaborative decision-making concept is? It is an organizational concept that aimed at enabling more predictable timings with data exchange protocols. And what does it measure? It measures some data, just like terminals, queues capacity, water levels and currents, ships' GPS coordinates, and possible disruptions related to movements. And the question is, how can the Port of Rotterdam uses this kind of information? It can use it with its daily communications, and it can help to transform into a transport hub. And it will result transparency, predictability, and efficiency in the planning and the operation. And it will help to execute a just-in-time operation. Sorry. We identified three dimensions of the communication. The first one is the cargo to port communication, and it will be improved by assigned ships GPS coordinates the bill of freights and following them individually by collecting information regarding to ship's location, shipping route, more, and delays. A second one is the port-to-port communication, which could be a continuous information flow between ports in Netherlands by collecting and analyzing data from previous unloads, delays, pile-ups, and groundings. And the last one is the port-to-customer communication, which will be actualizing freight information based on the GPS coordinates, and it will help to the customers and to help to improve the customer and the shipping company's relationship. But what are the benefits of the port CDM? We identified three dimensions that are affected by these new improvements. The first one is the shipping company. It will help for the shipping companies to have an optimized fleet, and it will help to enhance basis for planning, and will have more time for other services with the ships. For the port control, it will help to have an enhanced basis for planning and an optimized capacity for the whole port. And the third one is the digital service provider, which means that if the Port of Rotterdam wants to have this kind of improvements, it will have to find the right partner for the improvements, and it will be able to have a low entry barriers. And we also identified some concerns that may occur, for example, concerning about sharing data, but it should be seen as a common benefit that will outweigh any shorter-term disadvantages for the Port of Rotterdam. And Port of Rotterdam might think that some other ports gain more and some will lose more, but if you think it as an unmitigable growth opportunities and attainable advantages, it wouldn't be any concern. And why is it important? It's important because the energy consumption, the 20% of it comes from commercial transportation, and 29% of the carbon emissions comes from transportation. So in the future, it will need renewable energy sources that could be easily the wind energy. And we have an idea how to store it in the Port of Rotterdam by cryo-compressed hydrogen storage tanks. It has a volumetric and gravimetric efficiency. It is available at the lowest cost, and it has a high energy density, and it is the safest storing method of the wine energy. And if we think about as a long-term partnership with the city of Rotterdam, the Port of Rotterdam could provide clean energy to the city, and it will get some subsidies from the government that will help to build a long-term relationship. Clean energy means renewable energy sources stored in Port of Rotterdam, It will help to achieve the carbon dioxide neutrality by 2050. And the sustainable and industrial zones means that the pollution rate will decrease significantly by using renewable energy sources. And investment and financial support could gain from the city of Rotterdam, just like supporting the R&D activities to innovate and to build this kind of storage tanks in the port of Rotterdam. Okay, now I'd like to give the words to Nimrod, who will help us out about the impact.
Thank you, Vivian. We believe each of these solutions has their own unique impact. With the port CDM system, we will reduce the rate of the delayed shipments. And with the hydrogen storage concept, on the long run, we can reach out for new opportunities. In this slide, the impact process of the port CDM. With the port CDM, the shipping companies and other ports as well will get informations about the goods and under transportation. With this data, companies can achieve a new change management and to adapt to the new situations. And after that, we can gain more efficient time, fuel consumption, and cost management. This will mean we can reduce the carbon emissions to 20%, which means, the average delays are decreasing to 20%, and reduced carbon emissions means about 2.15 million tons. On the next slide, we can see the changes in the storage area of Port of Rotterdam. I don't want to repeat ourselves. Wind energy generated in sea, and that we fuel the energy storage locations on land. Luckily, our company already has an infrastructure which has the convertibility for the hydrogen storages. To move on, the next slide, I want to show some serious risks about choosing the wrong technology. We can't deal with it. Our best recommendation is about the hydrogen storages and technology. All in all, no risk left unmitigated. Vivian, could you summarize our presentation?
Yes, thank you, Nimrod. So our objective was that how can the Port of Rotterdam be a smart and sustainable port in the future? Our main challenges is that first of all is the communication problems with the shipping companies and with the customers of the Port of Rotterdam. And the other one is that the narrowing of the coal and oil markets. Our solution was for the first challenge is the port CDM concept, which will help to improve the
Okay, szerintem már kifutottunk.
Okay. Thank you for your attention.
Nothing. Davey stopped the record. Okay, hát sikerült, ahogy sikerült.